Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video on the channel. So this is my second part reaction to Ryan's story time. I started the world's craziest food fight, on the Scrubby channel, on Scrubs, Ryan's second channel, Ryan's storytime channel. So let's continue then. Ryan Agnew's story time. I started the world's craziest food fight, part 2.
Apparently that's what's going on, and I'm pretty sure Trump said he was going to draft everybody for this next food war because North Korea was pulling up on the DMZ with grapes in hand.
Reminds me of the war between Russia and Ukraine now. Now we got problems with Russia, with them invading Ukraine, and if a war breaks out between the two countries, yeah, I can imagine how things are already looking pretty bad as it is. If things escalate, imagine how deadly things could get. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope not, anyway.
So at this point, the entire cafeteria is erupting. Everyone's throwing food, and the girls hit the deck to try to avoid it. And, at one point, there's backpacks flying through the air. There's chairs. I don't understand when people hear food fight, they go, better throw a plastic chair across the room. But that's what people are doing. So obviously it starts to...
Yeah, now they're throwing chairs. They're throwing stuff. They're just throwing random stuff, random objects around them at other people. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing now. Just throwing random objects at other people. Not even throwing food any longer. It's not even a food fight anymore. It's just a brawl at this point. It's an all-out brawl. An all-out war, pretty much. An all-out rumble, pretty much.
Get out of control really quick. There's food flying everywhere. There's liquid flying everywhere. Chairs, backpacks, binders, basically everything you can imagine starts flying around. And the girls, not wanting to get their clothes dirty, start trying to make a break for the outside, so they open all the double doors on the gymnasium, right? The only problem is, when they start leaving, the food fight starts to follow them outside. So, now half the lunchroom is in the courtyard, and everybody else is filing out the doors, except now we're starting to run out of food. So people are starting to throw just, anything they have in their hands. Like I said, backpacks. One girl got hit in the head with a binder and got a concussion. People are starting to get out of hand very, very quickly. And it's crazy how much something that was fun 30 seconds ago starts to be terrifying. Because, a minute ago I threw a ham sandwich, and now people are throwing binders across the world and starting to just smack people upside the top of the head. And obviously the
Wow, I love the description. Throw binders across the world. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. It's like the shot heard around the world. That it's kind of a similar, it kind of reminds me of that statement. But anyway, yeah, throwing binders across the world. Yeah, it's the world's craziest food fight, no doubt, honestly. Can you imagine going into another high school, going into another high school, getting past security, eating lunch there, and actually being able to start a food fight there? That's actually pretty insane. Imagine that happened happen in your hometown. That would be pretty insane.
Teachers are trying to calm it down, but you try to calm down 500 kids that are throwing chairs, trash cans, and everything you've ever seen. At one point...
Yeah, those 500 kids can easily take down the teachers because there's so many of them, and and they're pretty powerful, honestly. So the teachers are gonna have a real hard time dealing with all 500 students. It's not going to be easy dealing with 500 students at once, but, But I'm sure Ryan has a good explanation for this, hopefully.
And I'm pretty sure a child got thrown, all right? I don't know where the child came from. Maybe it was...
Yeah, I love that. A child was there. Yeah, a child was there, too, getting thrown. Oh, no! Help! Ah! Oh, no! Imagine the child getting thrown across the lunchroom as well, honestly. Yeah, that child will break his back if he even survives the fall.
Was a teen mom or something, but there was a baby flying through the air. And the teachers are trying to kids, please stop. But like I said, you try to stop 500 kids just throwing everything within sight. It's never going to happen. However, the principal, for some reason, thought that they were going to be able to calm it down. They were going to really try to calm down these kids because everybody really, really respects principals for some reason. That's sarcasm. So whatever.
Yeah, I love that. Everybody really respects principals for some reason. Yeah, obviously sarcasm. Yeah, no offense to the principals. They don't really have that much respect when it comes to to all the schools overall. Not really that much respect, when you're comparing all the schools as a whole, They don't really have that much respect. No offense to them, but it's the truth. They don't really have that much respect. That's actually true, honestly. Yeah, they don't have that much respect.
Where the principal gets into the middle of the crowd and she starts screaming something about, now you kids behave or whatever.
Yeah, that's not going to do anything. Good luck trying to get 500 kids to start behaving once they start acting out and getting into fights. Yeah, good luck with that. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work.
And around the middle of the courtyard is like a second level, like a balcony level. And all around the school are these big gray trash cans. I'm pretty sure like every school has the same trash cans. You know, school is trash, so therefore they have the same trash cans. I'm pretty sure that's the motto. And regardless, everybody knows the big gray trash cans that I'm talking about. You know, the ones that are like waist high. And I don't know who decided to yeet one of these over the edge. But the principal is, of course, in the middle of the crowd screaming, "Calm down, break it up, stop!" And it's not doing a lot. And
obviously not. I mean, after all, you can't try to calm down 500 students. 500 students that are acting out in a fight. The principal's always not gonna have an easy time trying to calm down all 500 students. I mean, that's completely out of the question.
somebody from the second floor decides, I'm going to throw this trash can into the crowd.
Yeah, can you imagine? I wonder who was the kid that did that, honestly. Imagine having the balls to grab a trash can and then throw it at the principal. That's pretty insane.
And I'm sure their thought wasn't, I'm going to hit the principal. But obviously, the principal's standing in the middle of this giant crowd. It's pretty obvious where she is. And the next thing you see is almost in slow motion, this giant gray trash can come flying out of the sky. Almost like something out of a horror movie, where the jump scare is coming, but there's nothing you can do. And I have to watch in horror as this principal is mightily and quickly RKO'd by the John Cena trash can, alright? I'm calling it the John Cena trash can because
The John Cena trash can. I've loved that, honestly. The John Cena trash can, honestly. Like, can you imagine? The John Cena trash can. Yeah. Yeah, imagine the trash can coming out of nowhere and hitting them right in the forehead. Ah! Oh, that hurt! That effing hurt!
She did not see it coming, okay? She gets smacked with Oscar the Grouch's relocation home upside the head so hard.
Oscar Grouch's relocation home. Yeah, Sesame Street vibes.
She just goes flying over, falls over on her butt. So at this point, me and my friends realize, oh my god, we started a food fight that just got the principal smited down from almighty Thor with the trash can. This is not gonna end well. This is a 0 out of 10 situation. And keep in mind, I don't even go here. So if I get caught starting the food fight, not only am I getting in trouble for starting the food fight that just got a principal yeeted with a trash can, but I'm also in trouble for ditching school constantly. That's just a no bueno. So I hightail to the parking lot. I escape with my life intact before anyone can do any investigative work, okay? Before any crack people crack the case. And I zip on out of there as fast as humanly possible, right? And obviously, them being them, they started investigating almost immediately who caused this food fight. Because now it's not personal, it's not a mess, it's not just rough for the custodian. But somebody decided to yeet a trash can at the principal, and that's a big no-no in school. Did you guys know that hitting a principal with a trash can actually is against the rules? Yeah, it took me by surprise too. I thought they were going to be fine with it and just be like, accidents happen. No, they were very, very upset that the principal was in fact smited by Thor himself with a giant trash can. They were not big fans of that.
Yeah, I can imagine they were pretty upset. I can imagine the staff members and all their emotions when this food fight took place. I can imagine how pissed they were, honestly, that a principal got hit with a trash can. Honestly, yeah, it must not be a very powerful principal if that were the case. Honestly, I'm just saying, the principal get taken out easily by one trash can. Man, the principal must be weak. Anyway, let's speed this up.
Not too great. So, whatever, I got away with it. I ended up starting a food fight that got a principal yeeted with a happens to be half of the population of the school. So it's probably really difficult to go find somebody. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's not too great. I cannot believe that somebody food fight was hit in the head with a binder and got a concussion. And my mom's like, oh, what's this story about? So she turned while we were watching the news. Where did the thing come from? So I told her the same for the giant trash can. They were not big fans of that. So regardless, I get back to my school. There's a mustard stain on the bottom left-hand side of my shirt, but I'm doing my best to act like it's not there, Maybe I dropped something on my shirt at lunch. So I go home that night, and my mom's like, hey, where'd this stain come from?
Oh, let me turn on the lights. Yeah, but it's actually a pretty insane story. You can see why it's my favorite story time from Ryan's channel, honestly. This food fight, honestly, it's pretty insane.
So I told her the same story. I dropped it at lunch. She's like, oh, okay, no big deal. And that night, me and my family are watching TV together while we're eating dinner, and my mom turned on the news. I don't really know why we were watching the news, But my mom, for some reason, decided to turn on the news. And we're sitting there, and sure enough, my friend's high school comes up on the news. And my mom's like, oh, what's this story about? So she turns up the volume, and the news anchor basically says, a girl at the school during a food fight was hit in the head with a binder and got a concussion. And my mom's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that kids would be so irresponsible to start a food fight. That's something you're only supposed to see in the movies. I would be so embarrassed if you ever did that, Ryan. Like, I cannot believe that somebody, especially at that school, because it's such a reputable area, I would be so embarrassed. And I'm like, yeah, Mom, whoever started that food fight sure is a dummy. You should never start a food fight ever, Mom. That's just a big no-no. Just totally trying to lean into the fact that I didn't do it.
Oh man, that's actually insane, honestly. Imagine lying to your mom's face, saying that stain on your shirt was just simply like something you dropped at lunch, and your mom not noticing the difference, and your mom not putting the clues together that you were behind it somehow, and the food fight got started, and then Ryan's mom going like, I'd be so embarrassed if you did that, Ryan. I would be so embarrassed because it's such a reputable area. I'll be so embarrassed. And then, it's...
And honestly, I never got caught because...
And then Ryan going like, yeah, Mom, whoever started that food fight sure is a dummy. You should never start a food fight ever, Mom. That's just a big no-no. Yeah. I mean, that looks pretty suspicious, honestly, if you're going to say it like that. I'm just saying, it makes it look too obvious that you had something to do with it, honestly. Like, you have something to hide if you say it like that.
I guess the people at the other school were looking for a tall kid with brown hair, which just happens to be half of the population of the school. So it's probably really difficult to go find somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure it's not too great. So, whatever. I got away with it. I ended up starting a food fight that got a principal yeeted with a trash can and was honestly probably the craziest food fight to ever exist in the United States of America.
So that's pretty much the video, honestly. Ryan's food fight. So you can see why it's my favorite story time. To recap what happened, Ryan went to his friend's high school for lunch with all of his friends that were attending a different high school. Ryan's girlfriend was attending a different high school. Ryan's girlfriend was attending a different high school from Ryan. So Ryan went to that other high school with his friends and his girlfriend, and Ryan started a food fight there after his friend dared him to throw a ham sandwich across the room. So Ryan threw a ham sandwich across the lunchroom, hit a kid in the forehead, or the back of his head, I think. Yeah, the back of his head. And that kid threw a sandwich at another girl's table, and soon every table started throwing food at each other. Every table had kids throwing food at each other, and Ryan and his friends had to watch the whole thing with horror as kids were throwing food at each other. They started throwing like backpacks and binders and books at each other, and then eventually they started throwing. The food fight went outside the cafeteria. And the principal got hit with a trash can, and Ryan managed to escape the high school without anyone catching him or anyone getting suspicious. So Ryan managed to get away with starting a food fight. Without getting caught. That's pretty insane, honestly. He managed to get away with starting that food fight without getting caught, And Ryan managed to start that food fight and managed to get away with it. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Ryan managed to escape the high school. His mom questioned him about this food stain on his shirt. Ryan managed to make him an excuse. They saw the food fight later, the coverage of it on the news, and then Ryan's mom was aghast by what she saw, but she never found out that Ryan was involved. She never suspected Ryan. And then Ryan said whoever started that food fight sure was a dummy, and he managed to get away with it. So that's pretty impressive, honestly. That's a pretty funny story. You can see why it's my favorite story time on Ryan's channel, honestly. Starting a food fight, getting away with it, and managed to avoid getting caught. That's a pretty impressive feat, honestly. I'm just saying, honestly. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Ryan's food fight, basically, pretty much. Ryan starting the food fight at the school, and managing to get away with it, managing to escape, getting caught. So it's a pretty impressive feat, honestly. Being able to do all that without getting caught. But yeah, those are just my thoughts about Ryan's food fight. Ryan starting the world's craziest food fight, and getting away with it, making sure he wasn't caught by anybody, not the principal, not anybody, none of the staff members at that school managed to catch him. He managed to escape and get away with it. But those are just my thoughts. Take care, everybody. Another video from my Storytime channel. Take care, everyone. Take care, everybody.